no intentions on staying because I still had the foresight of I made it, like I'm good, I'm gonna get this job, because I thought at that point, because I crushed everything up to that point, and I thought my polygraph and background was pretty solid. It was solid, but then I got an email saying nope. Okay, it was a formal thing. I can't remember what it said, but it was very vague. It was like, hey, you didn't meet the requirements, etc.
You know, it's always interesting to me because so many guys from special operations community, I mean, there just aren't that many jobs that translate. I mean, there's barely any to what our experience is and what we can offer. And a lot of guys seem to flock to the federal side of law enforcement or other government agencies and, you know, state and local law enforcement agencies. And it seems like it's the same story over and over. These guys get out, just like yourself, they apply for some type of law enforcement organization, and then they get the letter that says they don't have what they're looking for.
Yeah, some bullshit.
Which I find really odd. You know, you're a shooting instructor now. You teach tactics and you teach law enforcement. Don't you find that kind of odd that so many guys come out, they apply to law enforcement agencies, the law enforcement agency tells them, hey, thanks, but you're not good enough. And then 6 months later, they're fucking calling you up, wanting you to come and train their top fucking tier guys at that agency to do their job. Don't you find that a little odd?
Yeah. Extremely odd. It's mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think about it until I trained my first group of law enforcement. But you're right. It's unreal to me that they would pass up such, in my mind, solid individuals that would do good things for their community.
Yeah.
So I don't know their agenda on that one. But again, yeah, fast forward today, I train cops all the time.
Yeah.
But yet, these even State Department would say no. Because
Yeah.
I've actually, after I got that letter, and I was like internally humiliated and ashamed, because that was like a huge blow to my ego. I didn't tell anybody at first, because I was at my dad's, and he was standing right there, and I was like, I didn't even want to tell him, but he was standing right there. I was like, well, here we go. No go on this. And I was like, kind of like, damn, like now what? Because I didn't have any plan.
At that time, you put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
You were going to work for FBI. You thought you were a shoo-in, only to find out, according to them, you're not good enough. And I heard you on a podcast also, I think it was right before that happened, maybe, they asked you about transition, and you were like, yeah, it's a fucking breeze. And now you've got nothing, no plan, nothing going on. You've been denied. I mean, you're living with your dad.
Yeah, it was horrible.
And you're a fucking 13-year veteran Navy SEAL.
Yeah, I was embarrassed. I mean, because I didn't have anywhere to go. I moved out of my place in Virginia. I left some things there, but I brought the majority of my, I had some stuff here. I just drove across country to spend some time with him. That was my intention. And I got the letter saying no go. Then I was there. My dad's living there. I was living at my dad's, like, I'm 31 years old. Just did almost 13 years of service, SEAL. Had everything going for me. And now I'm like, now what? So it was pretty tough, like, mentally for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like scrambling.
How tough on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably one of the hardest things I had to do. Probably 10, 9 or 10, way up there. As far as mentally.
Yeah.
But just like ego, because I thought I had my shit together.
Yeah.
I like to think I still do, but at the time I was like, damn, like I never would have thought in a million years I'd be like at 31 living at my dad's.
Yeah.
I didn't live there very long, but I had to live there because I had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And I had no job, and I had no idea what the hell I was going to do. So I was living off savings. I had money, but I was living off my savings just from work and stuff like that. I was in the service. But again, me being who I am, I was stressing.
Yeah.
And again, I applied for another local law enforcement. I don't know why I did that, but I did because I was like, what's the quickest thing I could do here? Applied for the Orange County Sheriff's. I didn't go through the process. I just didn't even show up. I got invited to do an interview and all that. I just didn't even show up because I was like, fuck that. Yeah. In my gut, I had a gut feeling it just wasn't for me. So I just didn't go. But now I am where I am now. But that little, I would say, 2-month window from April, May, end of March, April into May was tough because that's when I was staying with my dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my shit. I didn't even know what the hell I was going to do.
So what did that lead to?
That led to, fast forward to my business now, but only reason being is I was just there, one day it was like, hey, my dad has some friends that are some gun owners. He's known them forever. One's a firefighter, the other one just works alongside him. And they wanted to go shoot. They knew I was in town. I know him too, so I was like, all right, let's go. Take me to your range. Went out there with them, had a blast, shot all their guns, and I ended up just teaching them. Just a couple things here and there, like how to hold it properly because they were all assed up, just the basics. So we had fun. I think literally that night I came back because before this, I interviewed at a couple jobs.
What other jobs did you interview with?
I interviewed for another instructor job. I worked a security job for like a week, and I fucking quit that. This other instructor job for firearms training, that was another, that at the end of the day, I just didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And after that range day, I went with my dad and his friends. I was like, I could do this. It kind of like, I don't know, I just had like this epiphany, like slap in my face. Like, I always enjoyed shooting. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if you ask any team guy who doesn't fucking enjoy shooting, because that's what we do. We shoot all the damn time. But I really enjoy it. It's a really good stress reliever for me. And also like being a buzz instructor, being a teacher and a mentor, that grew on me too. I like teaching people new things and watch them grow into a better person, etc., new skill set. So that, on top of that experience, it kind of like, hey, I could do. I want to make a business of this. I could do this on my own. I don't need to go work for someone else who's already doing it, put my time and effort into that, or some other company. I could focus 100% of my attention and energy onto something of my own, which I felt way more comfortable about.
Yeah.
It was just I don't know, because I also wanted that freedom too. That's part of the reason I got out too. Freedom to maneuver, being able to do what I want, set my own schedule, just have a regular life.
Have a family,
yeah, a good relationship. So working for someone else for 8 to 10 hours a day in an office or wherever, or standing doing security, I was like, no. Yeah, it was no way. I tried it.
Yeah.
I tried it for one of those jobs for a week, and I said, I'm out. And it was actually a pretty good job, but at the end of the day, I was like, hell no. I couldn't do it. So the business idea dawned on me, and I just went full force into it, 100%. That night, literally, just me and my dad brainstorming, because he started his own business too, and he has a successful one. So he, on top of that, again, fast forward to today, now he's sitting there mentoring me on business too.
Yeah.
So it was
cool.
kind of funny to see how all the things worked out like that. But then I invented this company, the company I have now. So, and I've been full force with this.
So Kennedy Defensive Shooting is born, and it's a brand new company, just a baby right now. I mean, I think that's what pulls a lot of guys out of the darkest part of the transition, which a lot of times, leads to suicide, addiction, all that kind of stuff. Did you deal with any of that before
living the last year, like when I was at Trade It, part of the reason why I got out, because I mean, I was single, no intention. I was like 100% focused on work. And every time I was out drinking all the time when I was home, even on trips, I would be out fucking drinking every weekend. I just saw where I was going while I was still in like the last year and a half or so in my personal life. I didn't want that to continue, so I knew I needed to separate myself, because all I cared about was work. And then when I didn't work, I just was home, partied all the time. I drank.
Fighting?
Yeah, rarely, occasionally. I wasn't like a fighter, but I would just go out and booze all the time.
Yeah.
And then just fucking wake up with hangovers every fucking day, 3-4 days a week. And I was like, the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, not getting anywhere, just repetitive, and then rinse, repeat every trip.
Yeah.
And it took a toll, too, for sure. And I saw where I was going and where I would go, too, because if I stayed in, I would have just probably continued to do that.
Yeah.
And just push I had some friends, but relationships, if I wanted family, probably wouldn't have happened, because I would just cared about work. Because I was always so fucking nervous to, like, be gone.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be there and be that guy. Like, I would let everyone else go. I wouldn't even come home for, like, holidays, because I was like, I didn't want to leave.
Holy shit.
I was like, I just want to stay.
So do you think that your business kind of drew you out of that cycle?
It did. It gave me, I'd say it did give me purpose. Because once I got that bug, it dawned on me, I was like all in, front sight focus on it. It pulled me out of that rut. I was still at the time living my dad, but I was like, all right, run it, got the name, started doing all the back end stuff, established the website, and just kind of just building somewhat of a business foundation. So I actually get out there and get clients.
It's a new addiction.
Yeah, it ended up being a new addiction for me. And now it is still addiction.
Yeah.
But
I mean, a lot of guys. Sorry, go ahead.
It did bring me out of that hole, like you said.
Yeah.
Before that, I was literally just sitting there in my dad's house, like twiddling my fucking thumbs, like no purpose, no reason to even be there. Just like I'm just sitting here because I'm a bum.
Yeah. It's almost, I see a cycle, and this is my own theory. It could be just a bunch of shit, but what I see, what draws a lot of guys out of that downward spiral, which a lot of times doesn't end well. You get the addiction to adrenaline being a SEAL. You're just like we talked about, you had over 180 fucking engagements, in less than a year. And you become addicted to that. And then that addiction, a lot of times, I believe, gets replaced with drug addiction and alcohol, which are also coping mechanisms. And then, just from my own personal experience and watching guys like you and other close friends of mine, the business becomes the new addiction, which pulls you out of the drugs and alcohol or adrenaline. And and you're fucking crushing it now. You're already training Huntington Beach SWAT team, which is incredible.
Yeah, that was kind of a surreal experience for me. The city I grew up in, now I'm training their SWAT team.
Yeah.
So, and these seasoned officers too, not young. All of them probably had 6-7 years on me.
Yeah. What would you say your most challenging thing is in business right now?
It's client acquisition.
Yeah.
Getting new clients and just in content creation, just constantly just in developing new ideas for growth. And I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want my sole purpose just to do in my business just to do private lessons.
Yeah.
I want it to be I want it to be bigger than that, and it can be.
Do you have any idea what you'd like it to grow into?
I would like to grow into more. We're in the works of developing some courses to expand outside of just privates, possibly doing group classes, 10 to 15 people, and multi-day courses, which I'm developing now with one of my close friends of mine. And then work more with